Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is part 5 of our Learn to Build Mobile Apps with Ionic Framework and ReactJS and Capacitor. This time around we are going to take the project we used last time and actually integrate Firebase in it. So first of all, we're going to start off with initializing Firebase. Those of you who have used Firebase before, you know that it can determine if you have user credentials that existed already and automatically log you in. So that's what the initialization process is going to do. We're starting out here in the in the auth provider, and we are setting up some state variables that we want to keep track of. If the user authenticated, if there's a user and the additional user information, and an initialized state, and of course you want to keep track of errors. We're not going to use the user info in this pass, but we're going to use it later when we create a separate collection of user objects. So now that we've set up the state variables, now we also need to start adding in the functionality. We're going to start with the initialize Firebase function. And this is where we're going to listen for the auth state change when the app first starts up. And if it identifies that there's a user available, then we will take that user. We will set the state variables. And we will resolve the promise. Let's make sure we add the initialize function to the state. So that it gets returned in the context so that we can actually call it. And we're going to actually call that guy inside of the app TSX. Let's start with our Firebase imports. I've already set up the configuration file that has my own information in it. You'll need to add your own information in yours. This isn't really about doing a deep dive in Firebase. There's lots of tutorials on how to set up Firebase. I suggest you look at one of those, how to get the project set up. So here we are, we're going to call the on our state change. The unsub is, we're keeping track of that. It's a function that's returned that I can call to unsubscribe to changes after we make the first call. So that's what I'm doing there. So we make the state change call. If everything's fine, it should return a user. If there's no user, it won't return a user. So what we're doing is if I get a user returned, I'm going to resolve this promise to true. If I don't get a user returned, I'm going to resolve it to false. Pretty straightforward. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure we set the state variables appropriately in the context. So I'm just going to copy them all, and then I'm going to call the set auth value, and I'm going to modify the specific properties that will change. So if I have a user, authenticated is true, I return the user auth, and I set the initialize to true. If I don't get a user, I'm not authenticated. My user is null, so I'm going to just clear it out. And then I think that should be pretty much it. Let's switch over to app TSX now so we can utilize the initialize function when the app first starts up to see if we have a user or not. Here we're destructuring the variables that come from the context, so we're going to pull out the initialize function, which we're going to want to use here inside of app TSX when the app first starts up. Let's do a little bit more application setup of variables that we believe we're going to need in the application. So we want to utilize that loading screen that we used in the create an account page. So we're just going to copy this code. Not really much to say. If you watch the previous video, we went in detail on how we utilize this, so I recommend you switch back to that video and check it out if you have a question. But basically, we're just going to add so basically we only want to show the loading screen when we're loading, and since this is an app TSX, we should only be loading once. So we default the state to true, so when the app starts, we will be showing a loading screen. And then once the app becomes initialized, we will set show loading to false. The loading indicator will no longer show. And then we won't even return that context. If you notice here, we're returning the app context we're returning the app element with the loading element inside of it. Let's clean up the message so that we get a nice initializing message that shows up when the application is run. And as you can see, like I said, we set the state to true. And now here, we're going to use useEffects, which is similar to component did load, where when the app first starts up, loading will be true. We will call the function to do initialize. So you see how it's all tied together. Loading's true at startup. It will be called once. If we need to re-render app for any reason whatsoever, Since loading will no longer be true, it will not call this async function and will not initialize again. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Also, you can see I'm kind of using this anonymous function that'll get called immediately and use effect. I need to do this because it's an asynchronous call, so I'm wrapping the async around it, and I will call the function. So this will call the initialize function and set loading to false. We don't need to worry about any local state variables because the state that we need will be inside the context. So all we do is we call the function, we wait for initialize to resolve. Once initialized and executing, we set loading to false, and then we're good to go. So as you can see here, what happened was I had already logged into Firebase with this account. So you can, if you look in the context, you see it actually has a user already, which we don't want because we want to kind of show you how we got to that behavior. So I think the next thing we're going to do is implement logout so that I can actually get logged out, and you can see how the login is actually supposed to work. So here in context, let's just add the Firebase logout. Let's use that word. The Firebase sign out function to our code, which we just did. It's asynchronous, so we have the wait in front. We call the sign out, and then after it executes, we want to make sure we set the appropriate state variables with this. The authentication is to false. The user gets set to null, and the user info, which we're not using this time around, we're going to set that to null just to be good housekeepers. Okay, so we have the login function already here in the context. We have our logout button. Let's add the async on there and make the appropriate async await kind of thing. And now let's see if my login button does what it's supposed to do. Everything looks good here. So let's try the logout button. And it looks like it's logging me out properly. And let's refresh my page. The initialize didn't find anybody, so as you see, it's going straight to the login page, which is what it's supposed to do. So we know that the logout worked. Now let's handle the login with Firebase. We're going to clean up the old function that we had here. We'll leave the promise because we definitely want to return the result of the login. I'm going to leave it all in there because in the next video, we are going to, as I said, put a user collection on. So after login, we're going to actually want to go get the additional user data here. But here we're going to use the default Firebase authentication called create bug. I put the create user with email and password, which is incorrect. I really want to do a sign in with email and password, but I'll pick that up and correct that later. But for now, if I get a user back, like I did with the logout, I want to set the appropriate authentication values. And so as you can see, we're going to set the authenticated to true to indicate that we are authenticated. We are going to take the user object that was returned from the sign in with email and password, and we are going to destructure that and take all of the data and assign it to what the user object is. So that's how we get our user when you log in. And then as we did before, we want to resolve the promise to true when we actually have a user. But then we also need to account for, right here I am, I'm correcting to the proper function. We also need to make sure when we don't get a user from the login that we set the auth values appropriately. Looks like I'm getting some strange errors going on in here. For some reason, it's taking me straight to the authentication page without setting things up right. Let's see, what did I do? What did I do? Oh yes, so we need to make kind of the catch-all route to default to tab 1, because I haven't figured out exactly what's going on. What's happening is when I'm switching the state between authenticated and not authenticated, it looks like the routes aren't set up yet. But we want to set the default route to take us to the tab page. So the next step here is actually creating an account with Firebase. So we're going to copy the login because a lot of the code is the same. We're going to rename the function to create account. We're going to need an additional variable because when you create an account, we're going to take a display name in the input form, which we did in the last project. In the last video. So we add the new parameters for display name. Luckily, Firebase has a nice create account call, which is what you saw I used last time. Let's add the create account function to the state so it can be picked up in the context inside of the create account page. Now we're going to modify the sign in to the create with email and password. We already have the email and password. We're going to pass that in. Same as before, if we have a user, we set the auth values. Otherwise, we don't, and we resolve to false. The interesting thing is that here we want to also add the display name to the authenticated user object that we get back. Firebase has a helpful function that allows you to set some additional default parameters on the user object. That information is called additional user information. So once you get the current user from Firebase, there is a way to update that additional information. Here's the call, the update profile call. You set the properties that you want to update, and display names the property. And so we're just going to set the display name based on that after the user is authenticated. After the user is created. And then we set our state, authenticated is true, destructed the user, and we're good to go. Now we're back in the create account page, and let's actually use the real function. So we are going to call create account. We're going to pass in the local state variables, the email, the password, and display name. This is an asynchronous call, so we're going to add the await in front of it. We have our loading screens already fired up. We tested them around last time. And let's get let's make sure we handle the error condition properly. So here what we're going to do is that if I actually get a user back, we're going to just do what we're supposed to do. If I don't get a user back, here's where we're actually going to integrate the toast. So we have my loading screen going properly. But you can see that I'm trying to create a user that already exists. So my error message is getting logged to the console. That's not what I want. I actually want that error message to appear in the toast that we added in the last project. So what we excuse me. What we want to do here is we want to make sure that if an error occurs, or if there's some problem whatsoever, that we are properly setting the error variables. The error properties. So what we do is we wrap the await with a try catch. We will catch the error that occurs if bad information is passed into the Firebase call. We resolve it to false, but the important thing is that we need to call set auth values. And here we're going to return the error that was generated from Firebase, and we'll use that error information to display a nice clean toast in the bottom of the screen. So now that we have our variables set up, let's remove this logging. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use our state variable we have above called show errors. We're going to set show errors to true when it fails. And what's going on? Is this doing what it's supposed to do? No. Where's my error? Where's my error? Create account is correct. What else could be wrong? Checking my error, that's correct. What else could it be? Let's see. Try an error again. Nope. We're still not seeing my toast. So let's go back and check the code. Emails, password, display name, everything looks good. That just shouldn't matter, sending user to null. Alright, let's take a look back here inside of my contexts and see if I actually can find this problem. So yeah, here it is. It looks like I'm setting authenticated to true even though an error happens, which is incorrect. So let's set it to false, and it should keep me on the page, and that should allow me to see the toast. So there you go. There's my error message showing if I pass bad data in, which is what we were trying to get that nice clean error message coming back from Firebase. So I think that we've got everything we need here. Let's create an account. So let's Aaron A110. Let's copy that and make it the name. Let's call it create account, loading screen. We have our data back. You can see we have the variables, so account was created. So I hope you found this helpful. Please make sure you like and subscribe. We have the rest of the video series coming up after this. Hope you enjoy it. Take care.